Did you need one of these too? Yes. Anytime you want to just pop in, you just have it in your bag. Just say something if you want.
I've had lots of times on my.
Yes. Thank you. Oh my gosh.
I've been here 5 times.
I have it's in my bag. I take it.
College German's a long way away right now.
So you got the microphone?
That's okay.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Charlie Marks, your worship associate for this morning's service. Welcome and bienvenidos to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Asheville. And a special welcome to this morning's worship service. We're glad you're here. When we say welcome, we mean it. We really, really mean it. Come, whoever you are. No matter where you are from, wherever you are on your spiritual journey, whomever you love, you are welcome here. We're glad you're here, members, friends, and visitors. If you're visiting us online and want to learn more about us, you'll find a link in the chat box. And while you're in chat, if you like, tell us who you are and where you're watching us from. We are glad you are here. Let us now prepare for today's worship with centering music. Let us light our chalice and enter into the spirit of worship as we think of the hundreds of other UU congregations around the world doing the same thing.
Good morning. I'm Reverend Kathy Harrington, and I serve this congregation as their interim minister. It's good to be with you this morning. I chose opening words by the Reverend Richard Fuchs. Seasons of our lives. Creator of all times and seasons, and of all seasons of our lives, we gather in this place, thankful for the days that have been, even those that have tried our souls, and hopeful for the days that shall be, even those that shall demand of us the best that we have of faith and hope and courage, till we have become one with ourselves and thee in all the seasons to come, from the glad renewal of spring to the summer autumn days of green and gold and yellow, and the shining colors of fruition and harvest, to the white wisdom days of winter, where all things wait in patience for the change that shall bring transformation. It's good to be together again. Please rise in body or spirit and join me in singing hymn number 389, Gathered Here.
would like to invite those of you who are young in body or young in spirit and would like a little closer look at our book this morning to join me up here in a kind of a circle if you want. Yeah, you could scoot up. Excellent. Okay, and while you do that, I need to put on my imagination glasses. These glasses don't work so well, so I'm just going to pull them out of my pocket. I don't have a pocket. Where did I put those glasses? Let's see. Oh, yeah, here. I think I've got them. Let me clean them off. Okay. Oh, yeah. Now I can see some things that are there and some things that might not be. Do you have imagination glasses? Do you have pretend glasses? Can you put yours on? Yeah, get them out. Put them on. Nice. Okay. Okay, I have mine on. You have yours on. Do they have theirs on? Let's look. Let's make sure. Okay. We've all got our glasses on. Excellent. We're ready for our story. Our story today, it's going to be a part of a story, and it's called What We'll Build: Plans for Our Together Future. And the author is Oliver Jeffers. Let's see what he has to say here. What shall we build, you and I?
Okay.
After that.
Let's gather all of our tools for the start. I wonder which tool you would choose. I'm kind of curious about that pig. Pig, I know. Tools for putting together and taking apart. Do we sometimes take things apart when we build? I'm going to wonder about that. Yes, we do. Okay. Let's build a door where there was none. Let's build a house we can call our home. I'll build you. Oops, wait a minute. That's the story. Yeah. I'll build your future, and you'll build mine. We'll build a watch to keep the time. We'll build some love to set aside. We'll build a tower to watch the sky and all the other worlds that pass us by. Let's build a tunnel to anywhere. Let's build a road up to the moon. Let's build a comfy place to rest, for we'll be tired soon. Let's build a place to stay when all is lost, to keep the things we love the most. We'll put these favorite things beside the earlier love we set aside. I think that we may want them later when times are hard and needs are greater. But first things first, let's build a fire, for we've planned a lot and we are tired. It'll keep us warm like when we were born. Then we'll say goodnight as all's all right. These are the things we'll build, you and I. I'll build your future, and you'll build mine. Now, we always end our story downstairs with some wondering questions, don't we? You all know about those, right? I wonder, I think in your mind, what are you interested in building? And I wonder which tools you would use to build it. And I wonder what all of us can build together. I'll let you think about those, because now I'd like to invite you to religious exploration. But before we get up, let's just give the adults that you brought with you a couple of reminders. Children and youth will be sung out through the sanctuary. They will meet across the hall in Sandberg Hall. Just look for the leaders with your grade number on them, and that's your class. For those of you who are visiting, parents, if you would escort your children down to their classes so that you can see where you'll be picking them up and meet their teachers. Welcome to Religious Exploration. We'll sing you out.
In the center of our service and in the center of our lives, let us pause to honor the silences of the world. Let's open our hearts to the place of quiet, to the silent prayer for the healing of pain, and the soft, gentle coming of love. Before we go into silence, I would like to share that today is the second Sunday of Advent in the Christian tradition, the season of hope and waiting. But in the all wisdom traditions, this is a time for waiting for hope and to cultivate and nurture that hope in the deepest recesses of our being. The gift of winter, the dark of winter, is that we are given this space that allows our souls the rest in a kind of dormancy like trees, if we would only allow it to open our hearts to the hope and healing. Also, I want to remind you that Wednesday night we're having a Vespers. It's a Blue Christmas Vespers, but it's not just for people who have had a loss. It's all for all of us who are carrying the grief, the collective weight of the world and all the grief. It takes its toll. So come join us for some healing soup and bread and some time of candles and readings and music Wednesday night. So we join our hearts and minds together in a time of meditation or prayer, spoken, silent, sung, and shared. It's a precious time, and as all precious times need preparation. So I invite you to settle yourself in a straight position, straight posture, both feet grounded on the floor, and take a deep breath. And hold it until you need to breathe it out. I invite you to close your eyes, for vision is the single most energy-intensive activity of our brain. These words from Christine Robinson. Spirit of winter rest, help us to enjoy your peace in this quiet place. Remind us to pause during this season. Grant us awareness. Keep our gratitude fresh each day. May the songs in our heart be blessings and insights to us and to others. And may compassion always shine forth from the depths of our heart. May it be so. Now let us share a moment of silence. Now is time for acknowledging our joys and our sorrows with a candle lighting ritual. If you're in the sanctuary, please feel free to come forward and light a candle of memory or hope. And if you're at home watching us online, you're invited to write in the chat a joy or sorrow that you would like to share. If you have shared a joy, know that we rejoice with you. And if you have shared a sorrow, know that you are held in love and care by this community.
Winter trees. Think about that. And the contemporary American poet, William Carlos Williams, who spent his days as a pediatric physician in New Jersey and his evenings writing poetry. Winter Trees by William Carlos Williams. All the complicated details of attiring and disattiring are completed. A liquid moon moves gently among the long branches, thus having prepared their buds against a sure winter. The wise trees stand sleeping in the cold.
If only we could have the wisdom of trees, yes. Here's a reading by Reverend Jane Thixton called Winter. Winter does have its purpose. Like trees, winter invites us to slow down, to go within, to explore the inward soul, the silence, the darkness, the very bleakness of our surroundings, as well as the promptings of our bodies, suggesting that we are entering a season of quiet, of reflection, and of low productivity. Our society does not necessarily invite us to do that, does it? It's even in the winter. But like the earth, we have our seasons too, and spring within can only come if we allow some winter to come first. The winter of the soul can be a bleak time, a time of barrenness, emptiness, and darkness. It's not often clear that it's a seasonal cycle and that spring will follow. It can be a short cycle or it can last a long time. It can feel like a wasteland, like nothing is being accomplished, like creativity has withered. It can feel like your soul is dead. Just the winter of the earth makes the earth appear dead. If we don't recognize it as a cycle, it can lead us to despair. And despair is not fertile soil for the growing of the fruits of the soul. Sinclair Lewis said, winter is not a season, it's an occupation. Alaska taught me a lot about the occupation of winter. I lived up there right before going to seminary, and I wasn't prepared for the short days, the cold, the snow. But Alaskans don't actually hibernate in the winter. I ran a bakery cafe, which you had about 100 days in Alaska to make, in Seward, Alaska, to make your living. It was a tourist town. And by the time Labor Day came around, boy, were we glad to see them go home. I'm sure you feel that way here in Asheville as well. And we got down to the business of enjoying one another. We were too busy during the tourist season to enjoy one another. When the Northern Lights were particularly beautiful, you get a phone call from your neighbor at 2 a.m, come outside. It was just so exciting. The Alaska sky, there's no light pollution, and the stars are magic. And the short days, the sun rises, you can go to work in the dark, right? It comes up about 10, and it just does this little tour like this, right over the mountains. It never goes like this. And when it does, it leaves, as it's setting, it leaves this beautiful glow on the snow. They call it alpine glow. There's so much beauty and joy in winter. But we had permission. We had worked so hard. We had permission to rest, take naps, read books. My quilting group would meet every Tuesday in the elementary school library, and we would haul our sewing machines in there and our slippers, and we'd have tea. So community was really important. In Alaska, you need one another. When somebody is stopped on the side of the road, you better stop, because we need one another. You could freeze to death. So I guess I just want to remind you this winter to give yourself permission, without guilt, to really enjoy the downtime and to prepare. The changes that take place in winter are a kind of alchemy, Catherine May says, an enchantment performed by ordinary creatures to survive. Plants and animals don't fight the winter. They don't pretend it's not happening and attempt to carry on living the same lives they lived in summer. They prepare, they adapt, they perform the extraordinary acts of metamorphosis to get them through. And so that's what I invite you to do, to take that time to rest, because guess what's happening? Spring. You guys are going to be busy, and you're going to call a new minister, and there's a lot of things that will be happening, and there's a lot of preparation. So take time to go inner. As Rumi said, don't think the garden loses its ecstasy in winter. It's quiet, but the roots down there are riotous. And so Asheville's roots have been riotous. Your ministerial search committee has been working really hard, and I hope you will thank them every time you see them. They have been working for you. And the ministerial search committee chair, Gina Ferris, wants to share with you a little bit about what the work they're doing and looking forward to the future. Gina.
Search for another minister. I hope that's not news to anyone. So, how many of you participated in the congregational survey that we put out in October? Show of hands. Yeah, excellent. And how many of you participated in a small group, cottage meeting, or focus group? Yeah, a few more of you, great. If someone next to you raised their hand, I wonder if you would take just a moment and thank them for sharing their vision of the future and looking ahead. Yeah, just turn and say thank you. Yeah. On behalf of the search committee, I want to thank you as well. Thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedules to spend at minimum an hour with us as we asked lots of questions and ask you to reflect on who it is we want to be. We would also like to thank Reverend Kathy, Reverend Claudia, the staff, and the board for the amazing support that you have given this committee. We feel it, and it is appreciated, so thank you. This truly is the work of all of us. So it is time to get started. And I know you are used to seeing Charlie give you the updates. He has graciously given me some of his time. Reverend Kathy has given me some of her time today so that I could share the results of the survey and of the cottage meeting. And we're going to get to that. We're going to get to the fun stuff in just a minute. But first, I want to tell you a little bit about the process and how this process works. Ministerial search is an exciting time. It is a time where we get to think about our hopes, our dreams, and our needs as a congregation so that we can find that right ministry partner for us for the future. This is where we get to dream big. The process has 4 phases. The first is reflection, and this is when we did the survey, we did the cottage meeting, and we thought about our vision for this shared ministry. That's the phase I'm going to share the results of today. Then we moved into the sharing phase, and you may not have even realized that that's where we are right now, but this is when the committee tells potential candidates about UU Asheville and all the wonderful things about this congregation. We do this by sharing the information that we've gathered from you from the survey and the cottage meetings. We fill out an extensive questionnaire and a whole lot of documents that show who we are, the work we do together, and how we covenant together. This is the phase we're in now. We have ministers looking at this congregation even as I speak. So exciting. In January, we will move to the evaluation stage. And at this point, the committee will start to look at those potential candidates and evaluate who might be the best fit for us. And then in the spring, this is where you come in again, there'll be candidating time. It's time for us to choose a candidate to put forth to you, to introduce to you, that you will then choose whether or not you want to call. There is a lot to do between now and the spring. But as we begin this phase of sharing about our congregation with potential candidates, we first want to share what you've said to us in this process. So first, who have we heard from? Who's talked to us so far? Around 30% of the congregation participated in the congregational survey. That was no small time investment. You gave us thoughtful answers and investigative insights that we can share with prospective candidates, so thank you for that. 40% of you also participated in those small group cottage meetings or focus groups. Again, that means you spent at least an hour of your time with us and told us what was most important to you about UU Asheville. If you've not yet participated in this process, don't worry, there's still time. I'm going to tell you how you can still participate again here a little bit towards the end. But first, here's what you've been waiting for. We asked, you answered, and here's what you said. In both the cottage meetings and in the survey, we asked what you love most about UU Asheville. And that'll come up in a slide in just a moment. And what we found out was there is a lot to love about this place. In fact, we could not put it all on one slide, but we gave it a try. When we ask what you love about UU Asheville, most of you said something about loving our community and loving the people in it. You'll see that on the slide in just a moment. You appreciate that we are welcoming, non-judgmental, and friendly in nature. You frequently reference our openness to differences, including a diversity of beliefs, opinions, and spiritual practice. And you appreciate our strong LGBTQ plus presence. You love the multi-generational nature of our community, including the energy, vitality, and yes, sometimes the wiggles that come with having a congregation filled with families with young children. You love Sunday services, gathering in the sanctuary together, singing music, the music program, and I have to say, you really do love your music. That came up. You love the choir. You love the Sandburgers. And you love anything Les puts together. You are excited about religious exploration, especially Allen COA, and you appreciate the adult faith development opportunities that we have here. You find spiritual nourishment here. You also appreciate our commitment to social justice and that it creates space where you can act on your values. Two of you so beautifully said, UU Asheville is a place where I can grow spiritually in community and put my faith into action. It helps me become a better version of myself, makes me think more deeply, and love more lovingly. From your responses, it is clear we are better together. Next, we took a look at who we want to be as a community. We asked, what are the top 3 roles of the congregation? There was a lot of agreement on this one. I was a little surprised. We long to be engaged, vibrant, welcoming community. We want to be highly engaged in social justice work, and we want to be part of an active, loving community that takes care of one another as well as the wider community. These quotes are just some of what you had to say about being in community with one another. Speaking of being engaged, in the cottage meetings and in the survey, we asked, what initiative currently underway would you like to see a new minister support and promote? In essence, we were just asking, where is the energy of this congregation? And the list was long. You said, we want to work hard on the adoption of the 8th principle. You said we need to expand our pastoral care program. You want to continue the great work we are doing with our Beloved partnership. There's lots of energy around continuing and expanding our religious exploration programming, including more adult faith development opportunities, and continuing our multi-generational services. You are ready to commit to covenant groups again. And you've asked for more LGBTQ plus outreach. We also heard a deep concern for preventing the visitor revolving door. Instead, you want to find ways to invite our visitors into more active engagement in this community. And after the Meet the Moment campaign, many of you also cited the recognition that we need to financially grow. There is much to be done, but you said you are ready to do the work. And because so many of you mentioned worship as a part of your UU Asheville experience, we thought we would ask you what you love most about worship and what it means to you. Here's what you said. You said you want to be inspired, challenged, surprised, and connected. You love music and movement. I think we're going to test you on that one, though. I'm not sure I'm buying that one. You love the presence of our children and having your hearts and minds engaged. And here's my personal favorite. You said we are ready to try new things and to learn new things. I love the openness of this congregation. And then we ask you about your hopes for a new minister. We discovered that we are in fact not looking for a minister who can play the accordion, because as you can see, Paul has that covered. In fact, you asked the committee not to get bogged down in categorical thinking about age, gender, and ethnicity. Instead, you told us about your hopes of the role the new minister will play. So we asked the question, what 3 ministerial roles do you most value in a minister? And being good you gave us 4. They're all good though, so we'll include them. You want worship leadership, pastoral care, leadership in social justice, and the ability to help us imagine how we can more fully live into our UU faith. And then we asked, what makes a good minister? Actually, we asked the youngest members of our congregation that question. We asked our grade school children and youth that question. We asked adults a similar question, though. We said, what strengths should our new minister have in order to best serve our congregation? And there was some really interesting overlap between the answers of these 2 questions. Our children and youth said they want someone who is cooperative. Adults said we want someone with collaborative leadership skills. The children and youth said we need someone who can speak clearly so people can understand, especially older people. Adults said we need someone with the ability to be an intergenerational minister to all congregants, young and old. Adults were also interested in finding a minister who's enthusiastic, energetic, and creative in worship settings. Adults want an administrative leadership. They see that as critical to our policy governance structure. And you hope the new minister will be financially savvy too. That's a lot to ask for, but we did ask you to dream big, so that's fair. But while we're dreaming, let's also dream about what our future will look like. As a member of the search committee, I'm particularly interested in knowing how you will evaluate the success of a new minister after they've been with us 1 year. I think it's always good to define your task, so we ask you to complete the sentence, we'll know we've been successful if. And again, lots of good ideas here. You said, if there is excitement to be here and to be together, if visitors are returning and the congregation is growing, if people are more engaged, not just showing up, but participating in our work together, that will be our measure of success. You want to see your RE program for youth and adults thrive. You want to see that we're financially secure. You want to see more connection with the Asheville community. maybe even see us take a lead in some of our social justice work. And you care deeply that the staff feel supported and that they are involved in collaboration with the new minister. One of you really beautifully defined success as knowing. We will know the new minister, and they will know us. Nice, huh? Most importantly, throughout the survey and our conversations with you, you said you are ready to make change and to be change. I'm not sure that Reverend Kathy really believed me on this one, so I made a list. It's a little bit long. When asked, it would be unifying and energizing if the new minister tried to change or include what? This is what you said. Worship, governance, leadership development, financial priorities, adult religious exploration, outreach to the greater community, social justice, adoption of the eighth principle, and to increase our participation with the local interfaith social justice programs and connection with local members of the global majority. Right? Yeah, right. You have pretty much expressed openness to change any part of congregational life. May we hang on to that openness as we search for our new candidate. Remember that at the beginning I said I was going to tell you how you could still participate in this search process? So what's left to do? For starters, stay informed. You can see so much information about the process on our website. The Ministerial Search Committee has a separate page. Hopefully by the end of the week, the congregational record will be there. You can go and see what you said for yourselves. Also watch the e-news, and of course, watch for Charlie, because he will be keeping you updated on everything. And then plan to participate this spring in candidating week. That's when you're going to get to know the candidate and get to decide if this is the right candidate for us. But know that, because through all of this, we are in this together. Successful ministry does not rest solely on the shoulders of our ministers. This is our work. We've said that we are ready to roll up our sleeves to make change. We've said we're open to the new ideas a new minister may bring, and we've said that we're willing to work to take care of one another. Our work is just beginning. As we look to the future, what will we build together? What shall we build, you and I? I'll build your future, and you'll build mine.
We're going to sing When the Spirit Says Do. So please rise in body or spirit and listen to these instructions. Do not use your teal hymnal. It won't do you any good because we're only singing half of what's in the book. So you'll see the words. I'm going to play the tune as the introduction so you can hear it, and then there are 6 verses, so join in. And if you feel so inclined, move as we sing this. It's a spiritual. Here's the tune.
When
Visitors, wow, are we glad you're here. If you would like, we'd love it if you would be willing to stand and say your name and tell us where you're from. The ushers have got some hand mics, so who have we got? This side, that side, oh boy.
We're Cynthia and Dick Luke from Blacksburg, Virginia. We've been down here enjoying the culture of your town through the weekend and celebrating our 60th wedding anniversary.
Hi, I'm Benet, and I live in Asheville. I've been here about 10 years, so anyway, happy to be here. Thank you.
Welcome.
From Rochester, Minnesota, I'm celebrating being here with my granddaughters, my son-in-law, and it's just a joy to be back and visiting with you again. I've been here before. Thank you.
Welcome.
My name is Billy, and I'm here with my partner Lisa. I've been here for 4 years in Asheville, and this is my first time here. Thank you for welcoming us.
Welcome.
I'm Keith Prairie. I'm visiting my sister and my dad, and I'm from Portland, Maine. Welcome from Allen Avenue UU Church, where I'm a member and fairly active.
Welcome.
How does this work? It's on. Hello, Clay Jensen here, native of Chicago. As we all do, we follow different paths, and we're all here now. I'm a guest of Mr. Bill Moore, who is the architect of this wonderful facility.
Anybody else?
Come on, there must be one more out there somewhere. Going once.
Going twice.
Going twice. All right, thank you. Thank you so much. And please join us after the service across the hall in Sandberg Hall, where there's bound to be some coffee and some people to talk to. If you tuned in late and missed the announcement slides, they're all in this last Wednesday's weekly e-news email, and they're on the homepage of our website. Our community plate recipient this month is the Ministerial Discretionary Fund, which is used to provide financial assistance to those of us who might have a temporary need. At times, the ministers also offer assistance to an urgent need that comes to our attention outside of our congregation. We ask two things of you. If you are suffering financial distress or are aware of any of our UU Asheville friends, please let Reverend Kathy or Reverend Claudia know. This information is held in strictest confidence. As this is the first Sunday of the month, all cash collected today goes to the community plate. You may contribute to this fund by text to UU Asheville and select community plate, or on our website, or send us a check to UU Asheville with community plate on the memo line. So for the gifts of your time, talent, presence, and financial resources, we are grateful. Thank you. This morning's offering will now be received.
As Charlie extinguishes our chalice, I will read these closing words by Duke Gray. The blessing of truth be upon us. The power of love direct us and sustain us. And may the peace of this community preserve our going out and our coming in from this time forth until we meet again. Blessed be. So Les is going to introduce the postlude.
Sing along postlude. That means you. My favorite things. And just remember to wait for the blink, 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 blink in between the verses.
Thank you, Les. Hey, maybe you should have done that before my beautiful closing words. Just shifted the mood there. Okay, we move on. So please rise in body or spirit. Let us get the mood of our lovely closing song, Longtime Son. And if you need to leave during the postlude, do so quietly, but we hope you won't leave. We hope you stay and sing along. Okay. In the sanctuary, the soup this afternoon. Yeah, join us for some soup. It's a fundraiser for our youth group who are going to Montgomery. Go in peace and blessed be.
Thank you, choir. Beautiful. Thank you so much. It was beautiful.